and all the tenants are the one paying. Do you have a complaint office section?
Yes, we do.
That these people can go, and
Yes.
do you have a device that when you
Yes,
come
we
to
do.
that
Sure.
apartment, you can really decipher what exactly is happening?
Yes, we do. We do. For as long as the conspiracy of silence, because in the past it was fair game. It was like it was government business. I mean, as much as you can get out of it, just get out of it. And it was just this conspiracy of silence around. But what we're saying is that consumers should themselves become alive to their responsibility. If you see somebody who is stealing electricity, report him. And the reason you should report him is because you are bearing the cost if he doesn't bear it. And if in a particular disco, you don't get up to half of the people paying what they should genuinely pay for, those half who are paying are bearing it, because we still have to pay the market operator at the end of the month. His bill comes and we pay. So that, in a way, is like insurance. You spread the cost amongst the good and the bad guys.
Is a service charge part of insurance?
The service, look, what NEC and Co recognize with service is that when you invest in anything, there is a cost to it. It's to enable you over time recover that cost. That's why there's a service charge.
Okay, so the service charge is a guaranteed sum that goes to the distribution companies.
Well, I don't know.
And so Nigerians must pay whether or
let
not
me tell you
they
how
have
it
seen
works.
light.
No. Let me explain how it works. If the distribution companies collect a certain sum of money, 80% of it goes to the market operator for the cost of electricity. What's of the 20% that's left, that's then used for their own business, and that includes servicing, paying their salaries, and meeting all their costs. So it's a very thin margin. It's not as if, the distribution companies, because they collect the money, they appear to have volumes of cash in their hands, but it's not their money. As it comes in, it's ferreted out there. In fact, the system that's set up in the bank, it's deducted even without their consent. It just goes off. So it's only what's left that they manage.
Maybe you should explain
their business. So
maybe you should explain it a little bit further.
Sure.
The distribution companies collect the electricity from the generating companies.
No, you see, they are the end of the chain.
Okay.
Power is
so who gets that 80%
from the grid?
now? Yeah.
Power is it's a complex thing. Power is, remember, it starts even actually from the gas suppliers. Okay. The gas, they fire the grid.
That's for the thermal plants.
Yeah, for the thermal plants, and then it goes to the grid. The grid, then that's your TCN. They now put it through the transmission lines. That's another person has come in. So you now have the gas supply, you have the generator, you have the transmitter, and then it hits the distribution. Then you send it out to the customers. You are at the end of the chain. You are a receptacle. You collect all the money. And once you collect that money, it's then taken to somebody who's called a market operator. The market operator is that person who is there ensuring that everybody in that chain gets what belongs to them. So bringing some sort of sanity, which is why it's such a interconnected business. If any one of that chain is weak, it affects everybody.
So in this case now, who is the market operator that gets 80% of the
It's
revenue
not
generated?
the market operator, it's just somebody who is there as it comes in. It's okay, gas supplier, okay, this is your money. TCN, this is your money. Generation company, this is yours. The distributions keep theirs.
So at the
it
end
just
of the
depends
day,
on the volume.
the service charge.
It's somebody who is regulating and bringing sanity, or constantly oiling the wheel of the electricity industry.
The service charge is what comes to the distribution companies.
In a sense.
And then something extra.
And a little bit of extra. That's what I said. That's what you have to look at these things in aggregates. That's why I said they keep 20%. That 20% covers all their costs.
But we understand that.
So many times they are reeling. You trust me. They are actually reeling to make sense out of that 20%.
But we understand that based on certain proposals submitted by the discos in that for this particular scenario, metering now.
Sure.
6.5 million meters are supposed to have been distributed in 5 years. And that means about a little over 1 million every year. But that's not happening at the moment.
You know, as I told you, when you go back to this meter thing, many of them predated the privatization. And although a lot of discos have inherited these metering plans, what you are finding is that it's still important for you to make sure these meters answer the demand. So there's no point me coming to meter you if I'm going to have a fight with you 3 months after.
Do the discos have any issue with the local manufacturers at the moment?
Not the manufacturers, but with him, it's a system you're dealing with. It's a meter you give me that I'm dealing with. So whatever meter you will go through my own stress test to make sure it meets the needs. Because at the end of the day, I have to protect you, the consumer. You don't know the meter manufacturer. When I give you the meter, it's my face you know.
Because we understand that some of the discos were telling the meter manufacturers to come up with some that could also read low voltage, and then they said, no,
nobody runs any business like that. Once you begin to tamper with the meter, where do you stop? That is the precise thing they want to stop. And that's why they're going for smart meters. Again, I take you back to your telephones. In those days, yes, everybody used to look for NITEL and quarrel over bills, but today, who does that? Because everything is automated. If you run out of credit, you go and buy new credit. Do you know anybody you can call in MTN today to say my credit is finished?
All right, thank you very much indeed for coming on. George Tomi is a director with Eco Disco, speaking about the planned tariff increase and more. We'll be back in just a moment with other perspectives as well here today, so don't go away.